South Park's animation looks simple, but each character is actually made of 10,000 pieces of geometry, and the technical evolution behind it is absolutely insane. Let's rewind to where it all began. The Spirit of Christmas shorts and the pilot episode Cartman Gets an Anal Probe were created using actual stop-motion animation with real construction paper cutouts. This wasn't some artistic choice. It was literally all Trey Parker and Matt Stone could afford at the time. The process was brutal. Every single movement required physically manipulating paper cutouts and photographing them frame by frame. It was costly, time-consuming, and absolutely exhausting. The show even parodied this nightmare process years later in A Very Crappy Christmas, poking fun at their own origins. After those initial shorts and the pilot, Parker and Stone made a decision that would change television animation forever. They abandoned physical stop-motion entirely and moved to computer animation, but with one critical twist. They made it look exactly like construction paper on purpose. During the early episodes, Weight Gain 4000 and Volcano, South Park began using Power Animator software. The animation team was literally figuring out the show's visual identity in real time, experimenting wildly with what worked and what didn't. They tried flat colors instead of construction paper textures. They experimented with symmetrical eyes without shadows or dividing lines. The characters had limited expressions and animations because the team was still building their asset library from scratch. Every episode was essentially a test run for what South Park could become. The breakthrough came with Big Gay Al's Big Gay Boat Ride. This episode introduced crucial changes that would define the show's look for years. New character expressions, that iconic small black line dividing the eyes, redrawn mouth shapes, and most importantly, shadows on the upper part of characters' eyes. They also committed fully to using fabric-like textures for all colors, creating that signature construction paper aesthetic that made the show instantly recognizable. From Tom's rhinoplasty onward, adult characters received a completely different eye design than the kids. More diagonal, slightly stretched, with shadows at the bottom instead of the top. This visual distinction between children and adults became a permanent fixture of South Park's style. During these first 4 seasons, the kids even had 2 different default mouth designs, one narrower, one more exaggerated. Almost all the kids shared the same eye assets, except for Kyle, Cartman, Kenny, Fosse, Bill, and Terrence. The show was still finding its visual voice, but the foundation was set. South Park, bigger, longer, and uncut, elevated the animation to an entirely new level. The film featured significantly more character movement, incredibly detailed backgrounds, and extensive use of 3D elements with dynamic camera angles that were impossible in the television show. The color palette was darker and less contrasting compared to the series, giving the film a more cinematic feel. Character designs for new characters looked noticeably more polished. The film proved that South Park's animation style could scale up for the big screen while maintaining its distinctive identity. Here's where things get absolutely wild. After Season 4, South Park's production hit a wall. Power Animator was limiting what the team could accomplish, but switching software for an entire animated series seemed impossible. J.J. Franzen, one of the key technical directors, initially ruled out the idea entirely, saying, "If you're wondering why we haven't moved to Maya, it's just overkill for what we do, you know? That, and it would take a very long time to convert all our assets over." But the limitations became too severe to ignore. The 5th season was delayed several months to June 2001, specifically so the entire animation staff could learn Autodesk Maya, a significantly more powerful 3D animation program. The results were immediate and dramatic. The animation became more vibrant. Characters gained substantially more expressions and animation capabilities. Background characters, especially adults, received a massive variety of new assets. The eyes for adults became more varied with shadows on the upper part, while kids mostly kept using the same eye assets. Animator Lucas Walker revealed something that shocks even longtime fans. He explained that each South Park character is actually composed of approximately 10,000 individual pieces of geometry. Every single color, every line, every shadow exists as a separate geometric piece. In a standard character rig, there are no fewer than 4 views: left, right, front, and back. Characters also have special poses, and each pose requires special replacement animations. Animators can hit a slider that turns off one piece of geometry and activates another. In the front view alone, a single character might have 12 different hand designs, and those 12 hands exist separately in each individual pose. The mounds of information for each character stack exponentially on top of themselves, creating one of the most complex animation systems in television. Season 23 did something completely unprecedented. The normal opening sequence was replaced with a Tegrity Farms intro styled after the classic Green Acres opening. The clips contained various scenes from the season's episodes, ending with a picture of the marshes and Towley behind the house. Individual episodes featured their own unique variations. Bored Girls played the PC Babies song with footage from Buddha Box. Turd Burglars opened with a fake show within a show called One for the Ladies, featuring clips of female characters from past episodes. Basic Cable featured a full-fledged opening for the Scott Malkinson Show, parodying Cowboy Bebop and James Bond. Christmas Snow returned the regular title sequence from Season 17, proving that even after 23 seasons, South Park could still surprise audiences with its opening credits alone. South Park has created numerous special intros for specific episodes that demonstrate the show's willingness to experiment. The Halloween intro appeared in Pink Eye, Spooky Fish, and Korn's Groovy Pirate Ghost Mystery, the first 3 Halloween episodes. These versions featured Stan with a pumpkin over his head, Les Claypool transformed into a skeleton, spooky sound effects throughout the theme, Chef replaced with death, the school replaced with a haunted house, and the sign replaced with a grave that gets hit with bats instead of characters. Good Times with Weapons received a unique HD DVD release with a slightly different opening that started like the seasons 1 through 4 intro before fading into clips. Instead of construction paper cutouts, it used character animations from the seasons 12 and 13 intro. The syndication intro, created in 2005 for edited broadcast episodes, combined the season 1 through 4 base with audio from seasons 7 through 10. Significantly more characters and episode references were added, creating incredibly dense scenes with tons of action happening simultaneously. Before we continue, hit that subscribe button, or Kenny might die for real this time. In 2009, Comedy Central went high definition. South Park had to re-render every previous episode from 4:3 to 16:9 widescreen. JJ Franzen explained, "We still have all the Maya scene files. We've started re-rendering all those old episodes at full 1080p. We'll be the only animated show from the pre-HD world with its entire catalog in full native 1080p. But the remasters created controversy. Characters that didn't debut until later seasons suddenly appeared in earlier episodes. Lola shows up at the Chin Pokemon camp despite not debuting until Bebe's Boobs Destroy Society. Scott Malkinson appears in The Jeffersons before his official debut. Characters switched between old and new designs within the same episode. Meanwhile, character designs evolved dramatically. Starting in Season 7, adult characters transformed from thick black lines for wrinkles and zippers to cleaner, symmetrical designs with smoother colors. By Season 11's Night of the Living Homeless, Randy Marsh gained softer sleeves and refined collars, while Jimbo Kern received a softened chin and completely new vest. Background characters got massive upgrades with hair shading and detailed clothing. Women departed from round-faced, square-bodied designs toward petite, thinner body types. Older background characters like Lizzie and Mark Cotswolds disappeared entirely, replaced by newer, more detailed designs. What separates South Park from every other animated show isn't just technical sophistication. It's the insane 6-day production schedule that has remained unchanged for decades. Most animated shows require 3 to 10 months per episode. South Park creates entire episodes in less than a week. This speed gives South Park something no other show possesses: weaponized immediacy. They can satirize presidential scandals before the Twitter outrage peaks. They can mock news events while they're still dominating headlines. Traditional animation shows reference last year's news. South Park dissects this week's controversies. If you are craving more, be sure to check out our other videos.